The Smash Ultimate speculation scene right now is in a pretty weird state. It seems like every time a character is speculated to be DLC 5, it immediately gets shut down by credible leakers. People were talking about Ryu Hayabusa, Crash Bandicoot. Verge Ben shut it down. People thought Geno or Doom Guy could be next. Sabi shut it down. Sabi claims that his source has heard the name for DLC 5, however won't reveal it yet. It seems like everything people are speculating on is being deconfirmed. So, what if DLC 5 isn't someone we're expecting? What if DLC 5 is Freddy Fazbear? Now, I know that might sound dumb, and I will admit it may be a bit of a stretch. However, I don't think this is as unlikely as you might expect. Today, I'd like to go over why I think Freddy Fazbear has a pretty good chance of being in Smash. Point 1. Advertisement. Now, let's get the obvious out of the way first. The first 4 Five Nights at Freddy's games came to the Nintendo Switch this November. Now, of course, this alone doesn't confirm anything. A lot of games ported to the Switch. However, Scott Cawthon has said that he's been in contact with Nintendo at least since last November, around the time the Fighters Pass roster was being decided. It's very likely that, to promote the upcoming ports, Nintendo requested Freddy Fazbear as a DLC fighter the same way Joker and Hero promoted Persona 5S and Dragon Quest XI respectively. Part 2. Popularity. Another obvious thing to note is that Five Nights at Freddy's is extremely popular. It is without a doubt one of the most famous indie games and horror games ever made. Hero and Terry were chosen for a plethora of reasons, but a main reason was due to their massive popularity in Japan. While FNAF may not be as popular in Japan as in the West, its sheer fame in the West might be a deciding factor for FNAF and Smash. Since DLC 5 will very likely be revealed at the Game Awards, an exclusively Western event, a character so ridiculously famous in the West like Freddy Fazbear being revealed here fits perfectly. Point 3. Moveset potential. Something I've seen people point out when talking about Freddy in Smash is questioning if Freddy has enough aspects to create a full moveset on. Now, I could point out that characters with next to nothing to work with fighting-wise have been able to get in, such as Olimar, Duck Hunt, Rob, but I do understand not being able to imagine a character like Freddy running around and fighting. However, I do believe there's a lot you can work with when it comes to Freddy. A lot of his attacks could involve biting, for example. Maybe some paranormal stuff like teleporting around. Maybe he could spit a poisonous gas, which could reference the ventilation mechanic in FNAF 3. And of course, he would have a jump scare move. His final smash could easily be the power outage from FNAF 1, or maybe something more akin to Shulk or Banjo's, where you're taken to the ultimate custom night office and all the animatronics from the game attack you. Maybe ending with Golden Freddy crashing the game and making your foes caught fly off. Point 4. Stretching to the max. Okay, now that I got everything that I think makes sense out of the way, here's where I overthink until my brain turns to goo. In the Banjo and Kazooie presentation, Sakurai refers to Tooty, Bottles, Mumbo, Gruntilda, and Jinjos as poor souls. This was a really weird moment, and there's a lot of theorizing as to why he said this. Some thought that this was some hint at Dark Souls. However, think about the characters he called. Tooty, Bottles, Mumbo, Grunty, and Jinjos. That's 5 characters. 5 poor souls. Kind of like the 5 poor souls of the children killed by William Afton. Now think about this. If Freddy Fazbear was the next character, he'd be the 5th character in the Fighters Pass. Ooh. Not only that, but he'd be the 83rd character. Kind of like the bite of 83. Ooh. How about we connect Freddy to other more popular speculations? Color theory suggests that the next DLC fighter will have orange as a complement, which works perfectly with Freddy's brown and black coloring. And how about this? You know that tweet that the Japanese Smash account posted recently? Where there's the image of all the DLC characters so far? and Daisy holding up a peace sign? Well, remember the gravestone ending of Pizzeria Simulator? When all the spirits are at peace? And guess what flowers are around the gravestones? That's right. Daisies. Conclusion. Now, after all of this, do I think Freddy Fazbear is absolutely going to be the next character? No. This is simply something I'd very much love to see. And given the current circumstances, I think it could very likely happen.